Articles on actress Imogen Stubbs unfailingly rehearse her golden credits. Double first in English at Oxford, a stint at the Royal Shakespeare Company, and the kind of looks that captivate directors. Life. It really brasses her off. In many of her roles, Imogen Stubbs plays the romantic heroine, a far cry from her latest part in Anna Lee, where she's a new breed of private detective.
Miss Lee finally arrived, Mr. Brierley. Trouble with the car?
Just ask her to wait a minute.
It's usually very reliable. Sunbeam Alpine Mark III. Classic car, restoring it myself.
You can tell Miss Lee to come in now.
Right, Mr. Brierley. He'll see you now. Well, don't hang about all day. It's that door through there. Where you had your interview?
Yeah, thanks.
Oh, morning.
Hi, Bernie.
Got the job then?
Yeah, well, looks like it.
Good. Smudge on your nose.
Well, that's Sunday's episode. Welcome, Imogen. Nice to see you. I mean, I read in my notes about you this morning that you would rather that LWT, who've made that, had sort of made that particular role more of a dog, in your words. You don't like being glammed up very much. Is that right?
Well, no, at the beginning, I sort of wanted to play like the Artful Dodger or something, sort of short, dark hair, and sort of, and I think it's just wanting to look completely different and look like you've created a role, whereas here I look uncannily similar to the character. You do. Oh, I'm totally transformed playing it.
I mean, I suppose in a way, since Helen Mirren played in Prime Suspect,
yeah.
In a sense, I mean, the image of a woman detective, although, I mean, she's a real sort of policewoman, etc., has got much more authoritative, in a sense, much plainer, much less. And now you're playing someone who's glamorous and young. I mean,
yeah, I mean, I don't think she'd always be glamorous. I mean, I think she's sort of meant to dress and look appropriate for the part. And when she's at home, she is meant to look really scruffy and wax her legs and sort of, you know.
But do you feel, in the same way that, in another sex, Robert Redford claims that he feels a sort of a captive of your looks, because I've read lots of articles where you say that you are fed up with this golden girl image, you know.
Well, I think I'm aging as well. I think, you know, I'll look back on that and say, oh God, I wish people would cast me as really pretty young girls. And I think it's just, for a while I looked a bit younger than I was, and I kept feeling I wasn't really showing the experience I have in life in the characters, but I think all that's changing, you know.
Well, tell us a bit more about Anna Lee, because it's a sort of, at the moment it's a one-off, although it may well be a series, and it's 2 hours long. And as a kind of a woman detective, I mean, does she have any of these sort of painful backgrounds that most detectives we meet nowadays, like Inspector Morse, like Bergerac, have? You know, some deep personal tragedy or.
She's rather different in that she's a sort of apprentice detective, and she's been chucked out of the police force. She spent a very short time in the police force, and she's been chucked out.
Why was she chucked out?
In the script it says for excessive violence, but no, this doesn't show it, and for a tendency to get over-involved emotionally or something, which you do see in it. And I think that's her foible, that's her weak spot, is she gets terribly angry and she's very extreme about things, and she always takes it out on this poor boyfriend she has who gets a really hard deal, and she doesn't give anything to her private life, and she gives everything to her work life, and she takes things a little too far. I think you're meant to think that she's had a rather sort of dull, lower middle class, dullish sort of suburban home life, and she's trying to do something adventurous, and she's desperately wanting to sort of live a woman's life in a man's world. And
we'd just like to apologise to our viewers in Dulwich.
Oh yes, and as fond as I am of Dulwich.
Fine suburb.
Suggesting that if you come from Dulwich, you'll kind of be a policewoman and indulge in excessive
violence. That's her failing. She doesn't recognise the joys of Dulwich.
No.
Right. Well,
another character fault.
What you were saying about the boyfriend, you were saying that he is a sort of platonic boyfriend. Does that mean, because other things we've read, I mean, we are slaves to our cuttings, as all your interviews, is you find sex scenes in movies and things like that really difficult, and you don't like doing them, you feel?
I once wrote this article about this, and ever since then I've never been asked to kiss anyone. In fact, in this I don't even get to kiss the boyfriend.
She doesn't like kissing, so write it out.
But I've changed it, you know. At the time I was feeling, so kind of huge question, but at the time I just felt that everything I did, which I thought was kind of quite quality, like I did a thing called The Rainbow, and I thought it was rather lovely. And all the media picked up on the fact that there's sort of lesbian scene in it and a tiny bit of nudity, and it became sort of nudo-lesbi romp series, and it really wasn't that, and I kind of thought everything else we did got rather eclipsed by this attention to the naked body, which isn't very, very interesting.
That's fair enough, but didn't you, and I suppose a lot of actresses would feel this, and probably actors too, that you burst into tears, didn't you, when you thought that your parents would actually see you in a nude scene on the telly?
Yeah, I'm sure I can't be the first person.
No. You felt defiled?
I mean, yeah, I did, and on principle I don't. I mean, we all see ourselves naked every day, but there was something about the whole crew standing around, and I suddenly felt I'd slightly prostituted myself. I think those are my failings, not, you know, I have nothing against other people taking their clothes off.
I think you're quite right to feel like that, and I'm sure a lot of other actresses do.
And I'm sure there are lots of situations in which I do it. I just feel if it's gratuitous, you feel that you're being exploited.
And why is it always the girl?
Well, actually, in Eric the Viking, Tim Robbins takes his clothes off and I've got a really big shirt on, so I think that's the sort of Monty Python people being quite feminist, you know.
Yes, it's changing a bit. Somebody just told us down our
producer
piece
just
that
yelled.
our producer just yelled that you used to be Catherine Cusack's babysitter.
I know,
Is that true?
that's how old I am. I looked and thought, God, that's who I used to
Catherine
be.
Cusack looks about 19.
Well, I can't believe it, but I did, and she looked at me and said, you used to babysit for me.
She didn't base the part on you, did she? But
No, I hope not. She was
didn't try and get
wonderful,
off with
wasn't she?
that. Yeah, she's
I hope she
great.
comes back. What a great character.
So you do actually know each other. She didn't realise that you, her ex-babysitter, was Imogen Stubbs. You know.
Well, I think she probably did when she saw it on the thing, and I remember very well because I know her sister. I know Sinead and Jeremy because I did a play with them at the RSC. So.
I won't
It's
say
a small world.
Yeah.
No, I said it. The world meets at the dock, doesn't it?
Absolutely, yes, it's like Piccadilly Circus used to be. Sorry, what were you going to say?
I don't know.
No, right. Well, I was going to say, I mean, that clip that we just saw, it's part of the episode that goes out on Sunday night, right? I know you're not replacing Morse, but it's a good journalistic line. But you don't know if there'll be any more to follow. That's sort of in the...
I think they hope there will be. I suppose it depends how that goes down. And I mean, what's strange is, with a pilot, each sort of, I mean, Morse is just like that. Each one is so different. You could like the pilot and hate the others, or hate the pilot and like the other ones.
You've got to learn all sorts of different skills.
Yeah, well, I have this little thing that if we do it, I've got to learn to ice skate and to ride. I'm terrible at riding, so I think that might have to go, and I have to. So I think sumo wrestling or something. I mean, it's a really extreme thing. So it's
So
nice.
no kissing, no sumo wrestling,
No,
no
well,
riding.
no kissing. They've got to fill it in with other things. You know, like definitely no naked.
Substitute for sex.
No, I
All
think
right.
so.
All right,
Imogen,
it's
thank you
lovely
very
to
much.
meet you,
Good luck.
Imogen. Thank
Yeah.
you very much. You can go back and join Catherine Cusack and reminisce now. And yeah, good luck with it. Sunday night, what time?
9 o'clock.
9 o'clock Sunday night. Okay, we'll be watching. Right, it's break time now. Next, our agony aunt Denise Robertson and Judge James Pickles take your calls in our phone-in on fear of crime.